Hey everybody, it is July 3rd, 2020. We are at the Freda Cliffs in Freda, Michigan. This is the second outcrop I visited. You can probably see some of my stuff way down there in the distance. But you see here we have these big cliffs here. Well, they're not ginormous. The old mining processing, ore processing place is above us. But I wanted to show you here because this is part of my Freda studies. This is the type section of the Freda Sandstone. And here, it's a lot more finer grained. It basically is, for all intents and purposes, level, flat line. With the exception of this spot right here, where you can see they're planar cross beds. They're very low level. I mean, you can tell this is thicker than this is here. So there is cross bedding here, but it's really subtle and it's very planar. We have some ripple marks there. But you basically have two types of units interbedded with one another here. You have a sandy part, which is generally silty, very fine to medium grained sandstone, somewhat arcosic, interbedded with, and we don't see it here, they're back over there, becomes more prevalent over there, is our argillaceous or clay siltstone. Some are deep red like this, others are green. And in other places, the sandstone, the hematite, what makes it red here, is primary, and it gets leached out, and it turns this more of a tan color, if you will, pale yellow brown in geology. All right, there's some other things here, but first I want to show you these awesome ripple marks right here. This is Lake Superior, and when we came in, you can see the stamp sands to the south, that's the south. You can see the peninsula there. We had fog that rolled over us, and we were in a nice little cold front where it was about 70 degrees instead of 90 when we drove in. So temperature dropped about 20 degrees. But you can also see some mud cracks here. They're not very well developed. Some of them are, but not many. But you can see them right there. And there's something else I want to show you. Here we have a contact. This is Freda. All right. This obviously is not sandstone and is not Freda. That right there is our contact between our Freda Sandstone and our Quaternary glacial stuff. The Freda Sandstone, I am collecting samples from here to get detrital zircons from, but we expect it to be late Mesoproterozoic. Stratigraphically, the video I talked about the Copper Harbor Formation, as the Mid-Continent Rift failed, Copper Harbor came in, the Nonsuch on top of it, which is lacustral, and on top of that is this, the Freda. So it's late Mesoproterozoic, very late Mesoproterozoic. And this is Quaternary. But we have something else here. We have this awesome waste rock, which is from the processing of iron ore, and that's also what all this stuff here is. In the distance there, you can see another sandstone outcrop. But from this point south, we lose that red and green finer siltstones, and it becomes mostly sandstone. But where my stuff is, the white bucket, the orange pouch, and all that, is where they start to come into play. And then you go north, around that corner, there's a nice little aqueduct. Somebody took a creek that came in, and when they built the place up there, they made a little aqueduct, and the water's presently flowing back into Lake Superior. But you go around there, and slowly the finer siltstone starts to dominate a little more over the sandstone. We are going to visit Red Ridge next, and hopefully I can find Freda there. I've seen it in the creek. I don't know if we can get down there. But my hypothesis is the Freda becomes a little more silty there, a little more clay there as well before you get back up by us, where it's a little sandier again. It seems like this part up on the Keweenaw, the Freda here is finer grained. There is a basal coarse unit present. It seems to be strictly part of or west of the Porcupine Mountains, which I will get samples from there too to pull detrital zircons. And the hypothesis is that this side of the Freda is a little finer grain because it's a different source area than the stuff on the west of the Porcupine Mountains. And I am trying to not only get detrital zircons to determine a relative age, as old as it can be. You can't be older than your youngest zircon. I've said that many times, but you can be younger. There's a Bear Lake stock that has been datedness, but it has like a margin of error of 32 million years. So it doesn't really help us much. But I think that this has a different source area than the stuff west in the Porcupines in like Wisconsin and barely into Minnesota and places. But anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I hope you learned something. Got some ant wars going on over here. They're fighting hard over something.